Because
Why
people
would
are
you?
effed up. That's why. Men
Right.
and
That goes
women
back to
are
the mirror,
jacked
though,
up.
doesn't it?
Yeah, but even if you fix the mirror, that doesn't mean like even when you fixing yourself, you only fixing the stuff that sticks out to you. If you don't have a fundamental issue with yourself, right? And you look at yourself in the mirror because you don't have a proper perspective of how to examine yourself, you fixing yourself in the mirror ain't really doing much of anything. All I'm saying,
I disagree with that.
AP is this. Everybody has their issues. Even the good woman, even the good man still has their issues. We only want to focus on the positive things about these people, but not realizing that inside every person that you like, they got some nasty stuff that they dealing with. They don't tell you, or you might not experience it the way that you know is really going on. But listen, you gotta understand people are people. Everybody got issues. There's stuff that you done fixed a lot, and as you continue to fix yourself, you find out there's still more, and it just keeps
Hmm.
going and going and going. So at what point do you realize that like you a person going through stuff, like I'm a person going through stuff. So even when I get better, that doesn't mean that I can't sit up here and say like, even though I'm doing better, that doesn't make me better than you. And I think a lot of the stuff that we have is there's no grace because there's no respect and there's no understanding that, even the person that you love the most, it be the people that you love the most that will tear your heart apart with just words. So it's just like to sit up here and act like just because you got yourself together or you getting yourself together, that doesn't mean that you're not struggling with stuff. Like, bro, like people do not operate the same. You're going to be a person that it sounds like you're a person that leads by example, right?
I
That's
try
one
to.
approach, right? There's other leaders that's like, you are effing up. I'm getting in your face. And the reason why I'm getting on your face because I did the way that I operate, you need a dramatic shift. And it's not going to happen with me being cool with you. And that's some people's approach. I think that, you know what, I'm just going
Me,
Can let MJ jump in? Go
let
ahead.
me. I understand what you're talking about, HD, and I definitely understand AP point. Um, the job that I have, those two things tend to happen, right? We have leaders who come to the pro where they lead by example. That is actually what they teach us in the armed forces. Then we have other people who are leaders who take to, I'm gonna tab you, drop down and give me five if you don't follow a directive or order as soon as I tell you to do it, right? We have to think about the end result of both leaders, right? Both different leader strategies. One is going to be respected and one is not going to be respected. The sense of fear that you're talking about is if I'm fearful that the next time this person is going to come and scream in my face or have me drop down and do 10 pushes, I'm not fearful that I'm making a wrong decision that is not going to not benefit me in my life going forward. I'm fearful because I'm dealing with the initial pain that I don't want to do push-ups after getting up from doing push-ups. Whereas with AP's situation is now by him explaining to me why this is going to be a benefit for me later on, because I can actually see that it's a benefit from him by proving results. I'm going to not only have respect and admiration for it, I'm going to try to achieve because I want to show him as well that not only I respect the results that he got, that I also want to show, I want him to be proud that I was able to do it too. You know what I'm saying? So there's a different type of level of respect that you're going to get. You're going to have people that's going to respect being fearful of what the consequences are. And then you're going to have people who's going to respect what the results is going to be later on. And I think that we tend to we tend to like join those two things together, thinking that automatically you're going to get that type of I guess scenario or result, and it doesn't happen because, for example, like you said, you're talking about telling women things about themselves. I get it, right? We all know that not all women are perfect. Women we make mistakes, men versa. the way how you go by doing it, have it actually gain any more results, or have women have rebelled more? Let's just really think about it, right? And we can tell that women are rebelling more. You're not getting the results that you want. Now, for example, with AP, if there was a certain level of respect where they could see that the results is they have a marriage like AP. His woman is smiling all the time. She respects him and revere him, and he respects and revere her. Women are striving to go to that. They want that, right? So now they can admire him, they can admire his marriage, and they can admire his woman too, right? Because she's also going to emulate what they want to be, right? So it's a level. You have to decide what type of respect that you want. You can get one out of fear, or you can get one out of where someone would just initially just do whatever they have to do just to get you out their face, just so they don't have this fear of whatever threat that you're presenting to them? Or do you want someone to respect you and get the results that you want that's going to last for a long period of time? You just have to decide.
I'm fine with that, because respect, how you want to be respected is just that, whether it's by fear or whether it's by the general approach. In my opinion, a lot of the general approaches actually sometimes make women dig in deeper, but they don't lash out. They keep the same behavior, and what you're saying actually makes them feel good, so they don't actually change their behavior. They'd be like, "Oh, this sounds nice," and then they continue doing the same thing. Now, the response of what you're saying, the fear tactic, right? That's going to make them lash out at you, right? And that's going to make them become more combative and more upset, right? But sometimes what happens is after they get over their attitude and they run into something that actually coincides, because let's use your example as the military, right? That dude that rules by fear and that you see that fear, he might not have time to explain why he's doing what he's doing. And maybe down the line, you might have some you might think about it and be like, "Oh, I get it now. I was just doing what he told me to do because I didn't want him to continue to punish me." But I think that it's a luxury to have all this time to be like, be tactful and stuff like that and care about this and care about that. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but I think we have a thought process that we have a lot more time than what we do. And sometimes certain situations require immediate direct action. In some situations, you might have the time to do what you're saying. Be more tactful, be more caring, be more graceful with your speech. But in my experience with a lot of women, when you give them this graceful, tactful approach, it makes them say, "Oh, that was really nice. I didn't think about it like that." But they continue to stay and to do the exact same behavior. And they do not change anything. They just heard what was said and was like, "Oh, that was nice." And just go on about their day and do the exact same thing.
I think that depends on the woman, right? Because what I see in these spaces is that you have a lot of men who wants to change women with what their character is and how they are. You want them to change or convert into something that is your program and your standards. That's where you go wrong at, right? Because you're supposed to be aligning with the person who does it naturally. So instead of you trying to change the woman who is never going to change her stripes or spots, right?
And we have a video for that, MJ, in a second, but I'm gonna let you go. That's exactly keep just understand something.
No problem. Yeah, but so instead of just letting go said woman who is not going to change her stripes or not going to change her spots, you would do everything in your power, exert all your energy and resources to try to convince this woman or trap this woman or condemn this woman into this position. And you know what happens? She's going to rebel. When in your situation, which you're talking about, the guy who had to do 25 or 30 push-ups because he was given a direct order because he was making a mistake. You know what you have to worry about that said soldier or individual? You have to worry about a friendly fire when you go on deployment, right? You have to worry about certain situations like that where you're not going to be able to trust that individual at all, right? because you didn't, you was more focused on, I'm instilling that fear. As long as they fear that I can drop them down, if you, as long as they fear that I can discipline them in any formal fashion, those are the type of person you have to worry about. The ones who usually have the best squads or the best leaders is the ones who are able to garnish people who wants to follow willingly, not by that type of force.